He's having a birthday tomorrow.
Ooh, exciting times.
Yes.
Birthday, give him a birthday hug from me.
Tomorrow, not today. So, what's up? What's going on?
Well, yesterday I had like 3 hours of dancing, and then I went to the gym for 2.5 hours. It was amazing. I was like all day in my body. It was awesome.
Right, that's cool.
So much energy. Working out, training, getting super fit, feeling like so much strength,
Yeah,
mind, body, soul. It's nice.
resilience, building it.
Yeah, well, it starts in the body.
Mm.
The more the body's stronger, the more the mind starts to feel it, and the more any challenge comes on, it's easy to face. So
Monday,
it's nice,
Monday
man.
today. It's a new week, man.
Yeah, new week, new excitement, new growth, new development, new challenges, new opportunities. I think it's all a gift, isn't it?
Indeed. What else if not? Yeah, so it was cool today. I went out for to fly with the rocket. It's 1.5 hour drive here, so it was fun to
Mm,
to be on the road, travel, feel the traveling. It was beautiful weather finally here.
mm.
We had the gray skies for a couple of weeks, and now it's finally sunny. Not no winter yet though. Not like
No
in
snow on the
Canada.
ground.
No,
Mm.
today is warm, maybe +8. I didn't know that you in Canada have Celsius and in the States is
Yeah,
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. Yeah, yeah. We are Celsius driven, and we also have kilometers. They have miles.
Okay,
Uh, So
interesting.
a lot of yeah, a lot of like really transformation. Excuse me. Wow. Boom.
Good morning, good morning. Good
Good
morning, Ronald.
evening. Good evening.
Hello, my brother.
It's evening for
So,
us. For them,
yes,
morning. Good evening. How are
How
you,
are you
sir?
gentlemen feeling? How are you, Ronald?
I'm great. I've watched the video. It's a nice
Yeah, the
one.
short,
You have more.
the, sh-
Do you have more? You have
the
more. You have more.
Tell me, what's your takeout? What did you saw? Because that's very intense one.
Yes, it means I need to study more for me. So
Uh,
it's touched a lot of principles I'm familiar with. So but need to refresh it. So
hmm,
you brought me a little bit further in the rabbit hole.
cool. You dropped yourself. You want more now? Well, you have.
Yes.
I feel like these two combinations. Either I give a very long route that I gave you in the beginning, or that short version. So that short version is it for me. It feels like it's a like in the Matrix movie. It's a pill. Like there is a long pill
The
and
red
there is a
pill or
short
or
pill.
the blue
Yeah,
pill. Yeah.
yeah. But it's kind of there is no way back. After that.
No, it gives me new perspectives. So and that's not what happens often with me. So I love that.
Mm,
So I need to explore that to put it into my map of the world. So I
completely.
need to look
Yeah.
where is the congruence and where is the learning. the difference.
Maybe you can tell me where does your curiosity wants to go? Because there is so many different angles to approach it.
Well, my business is trust, and it was a very specific trust thing. Because it's so I want to explore that and bring that into the philosophy I know. So that brought me a little bit further on that road. And yeah, it's still not clear to me. It starts with the concept of money, but this is more than only money. So there are protocols. It's a piece of software. It's the public side and the trust side. It mixes up terms. So I need to. I want to. How do you call it? It needs to be 100% clear to me what the meaning is of the words, so I can translate that to a question, even if I have one or I just know what it is. So, yeah.
Cool. You look excited somehow.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So it's the only limitation is time.
So
That's
the same author that is created that video, he has written some articles about time, and
beautiful.
he pays a lot of attention, the way Satoshi Nakamoto left the documents and what kind of reference points, or I think he talks about that in that video. That
yes,
I don't remember exactly how many, but like 4 out of 6 books are about time. And he shows the importance of time in all understanding all this system.
Yeah, and
Nicholas,
welcome, Nicholas. Champion.
Hey, another champion, Ross.
And we have a dog coin. We have a dog coin.
Hey.
Department of Government Efficiency came.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel watched now.
Alan's private spy is here. Yeah, sorry. I was playing around the other day. I need to change it. Now it comes on every time. So every time I go into it, it comes up. But I don't know how to
beautiful.
change it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, keep it. It fits you.
Yeah.
It's almost.
Are you calling me
almost
a dog?
No difference. No. The dog is not like you. I'm calling the dog a Ross.
Right.
A little bit different. It's good. It's good.
How you been, Nick?
Nicholas?
It's good to see you. Yeah, we haven't seen you.
You look younger. My first impression, you look younger, maybe a few years. Have you been going backwards?
It's all lighting. It's pretty bright outside. It just snowed, so the sun, everything's like refracting. But thank you,
Nicholas. Where are you again? I forget.
I'm in Utah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Not too far away.
Salt Lake. But I've been great. Thank y'all for asking. UPW was amazing. How have y'all been?
Me not.
Nope.
Ronald, no. Eric, yes. Ross, I don't know.
No, I didn't go.
Nice. Well, how have y'all been?
Grateful every day.
Smooth ride every day.
Good.
Riding the wave, and yeah, like for me, it's been relaxed and effortless experience, I would say. Enjoying days, meeting all friends, reconnecting. Now I just arrived to visit my brother. Took the rocket for a flight today. Been flying with the rocket. The sun was shining. Yay! And we've been doing this. We had a cool Lighthouse meetings on Saturday and Sunday somehow. Like Saturday, we went for almost 2 hours. Yesterday was also meaningful with Monique, Moni, and yeah, so it was cool,
Nice.
cool stuff going on.
That's awesome. I'm bummed I missed those.
Yeah.
That's too cool. What about you, Ronald and Ross? How have y'all been?
Well, I was busy with my work because I was procrastinating a lot this summer. So I sometimes you have to pay the bill later in time. And well, but I'm very happy. Well, I'm clearing up. So I'm contemplating to go to Data's Destiny virtual. So and then I find another gear in my working ethos. Sometimes I need to how do you call it? I'm a goal-oriented guy. If I have a clear goal, then I'm shifting gear like no problem. But when the goal is not there, you go from 1 to 2. Well, you know you can go to 6 or 7. So when I have the goal, everything happens again. And yeah, because it's the illusion of time. We have every day 24 hours, but I think you made a nice post today, Eric, about goals. And so meaningful goals, deadline plan, consistent action is fulfillment. And fulfillment for me is the appreciation of life. So first thought when I wake up is, yes, I have another day. And then you have so much options to go to. Sometimes you steer your options yourself by putting your agenda full with appointments, and that's what I'm doing right now. But that gives me the chance to go for a week, an empty week like Date with Destiny. So
Clarity.
what do you say, Sigitas?
Goals. I say so destination is very important, right? To know the destination, which you could call a goal.
Yeah, or sometimes you want to go with the flow, so let the universe have more steering on your goals or your interpretation of the goals. And yeah, how more you let go of that, the more pure the goals will get. So, but sometimes you have to, how do you call that? Deliver on your promises from the past. So you have no choice in that. So then you have to put in the work, because a promise is a promise.
Yep. Why I'm asking, because I'm working on the rocket, you know, the rocket buttons. So it seems like destination is important to have as a possibility to set where to go.
It's all important, and but my experience, when you're in a flow state, it's all going by itself.
Autopilot.
And yeah, not autopilot, it's auto flow pilot. It's the flow is, it's like a river. The river always knows where to go. And well, maybe that's why sometimes you have to, I call live is like the Lemnis card. It's the lying 8, the infinity sign. And the best place is to be in the middle, but we're always on the move. So I think I'm now on the work side a little bit more to the left, and I have to get back to where I want to be. So you find balance again. And then it's a moving part. But you want to make the 8 as little as possible, then you stay in the middle. It's my philosophy.
Remind me what's on the other side of the 8, Ronald?
The 8 is it's from Aristotle, where who says the truth is in the middle, and you're also on the left or on the right or on the Democrat or the Republican. It doesn't matter what the metaphor you use, work, private, or whatever, and you're always on the move, and the sweet spot is in the middle. Then you're in flow state, then everything happens as it should be. But then you go further, and then you get you find the limit, and then you know, oh, this is not good. Then you go back, and when you make that spin small, then you're in the middle always. The fish state when you're making an 8 input, but it's still an 8.
So I have a different perspective, and I'll show you why.
Yes. Oh, you have one.
It's called the resilience roadmap. So we're so conditioned to really stay in a place of scarcity that when we finally break through into a level of uncertainty, we can define a new way of leadership in terms of oftentimes recognizing that the imposter within us can step into a momentum. But once we stay in abundance and we focus on abundance, we can keep the momentum going. However, if we break through, and there's a moment in time where we can actually go from abundance to scarcity fast. So it's very important to keep that state of abundance and flow, and it keeps giving more and more momentum. And we stay in that flow, in that circle of life. And this becomes now the spiral as you start to move up into levels of consciousness. So this is kind of some of the things that I've experienced through my own journey, which is then what I turned it into, which is give me 1 second. And then I turned this perspective, this map, this resilience roadmap into the growth curve of resilience. And so this is actually pretty fascinating because, you know, the fact that you bring this up right now is actually super, I love it. It's a really meaningful way to really integrate. And it's so funny, we were talking just before you came on, Ronald, Sagitas and I, about resilience and you know, how does that really affect our reality? And the more that we tap into our resilient paradigm, the more we actually can bring community together. And so I don't know if any of you have seen this before, but I'll show it to you right now. So from that resilience roadmap, I evolved it to the growth curve of resilience. So it really brings our, you know, we desire to grow our vibrational frequencies and evolve. And from that evolution, we actually start to, as people, revive our true frequency or discover it, where we go from this like feeling of vision of knowing within ourselves to step into a process where we discover our real essence. And then as a result, we also start to see it in one another. So we're open to really exposing that energy. And of course, throughout these journeys, right, we drop in frequencies because we go around other people or energies or projections around us. And so these natures of our frequency momentarily drop, but we come back up and we really learn as we grow. And then fundamentally, as we expose ourselves more in a functional desire, where we lead, we start to actually really own it. So it then doesn't matter which community we walk into, we can actually go into any process in any place of vibrational frequency and still bring those layers of community up higher because we become the light. And so this light energy that we start to create in terms of that resilience, but sticking to the nature of our abundant paradigm, we can start to bring common unity or community together to really amplify the wisdom, our wealth, our freedom, our prosperity, and expand into this meaningful space of true abundance and start to amplify that momentum. So this is where we start to see the mirror in one another and start to really step into any experience.
Yeah. That's beautiful, Eric. Beautiful. But I'm still, for me, the movement on that curve is my model. This what your model is you want to stay on one side, but you can also make this three-dimensional when it will become a vortex.
So that's what I
So
said.
when,
So although the circle is never a circle, it's always a spiral because the
exactly,
circle
that's
doesn't exist.
when you make a three-dimensional, it's a vortex. You can go up, you can go down, and so I love to get further into this, but my family needs me, so I have to go. But I take the mental picture of this, Eric. We get back to this. There's a reason why we brought it up. So thank you, guys.
Enjoy. Have a good one.
See you, Ronald.
Enjoy
Miss
the
you.
evening.
Yes.
Ciao.
Bye.
Ciao. Yeah, Nick, what you been up to? I'm curious.
UPW, and then after that, we had a friend come stay with us for a week, and we were busy with him. Um, had a great time with him. It totally flew by. Um, he is going into business with Chris because uh, their skills really overlap in a really great way. And we kind of figured out that what they are trying to do is precisely what one of the branches of what I'm doing needs. So it's all overlapped in a really, really cool way. Um, so we've been just like going crazy with that and having a great time. And uh, Chris and I are going to be out of town with family, traveling and visiting everyone until like the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day isn't basically starting tomorrow. So we were looking for houses and other places to rent in the valley here, and that was a great time. Found some really cool places. There's like three options. Um, and we're just waiting to hear back from that. So we've been packing up and uh getting ready to put everything into storage so we can go travel and then come back and hopefully know where we're staying when we come back so we can move in and keep going. Busy, busy, but it's been great. Uh, the the uncertainty with it has been a real like blessing, both to notice how much more comfortable I am these days compared to like a year ago with uncertainty. Um, and reframing it in a really cool way that like is really empowering and exciting, and uh some of the things that we're doing feel like small little leaps of faith kind of, but more of like investing in ourselves and putting ourselves in a position where we have to grow, which is always really cool.
Sounds like there's a lot of going on and somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy to hear that you're feeling more in ease and it's just in that uncertainty.
Yeah. What Tony says is funny about you don't like surprises. You like the surprises that you want, and that's just how true that is. And I do have an underlying sense of like a little bit of stress, a little bit of anxiety. Um, but uh, it's yeah, it's being like reframed and handled in a much better way this year, and especially now, it's just getting better and better. And y'all talking about um, your growth curve that you showed, Eric, and your the infinity symbol, it that was cool. I right when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is one of the things that I was meant to see today. And I'm not
Mm.
entirely sure why it was really why it specifically like resonated really well today, but it did. So I'll keep sitting on it and thinking about it.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I've discovered is the higher our vibrational frequency goes, right? Like, I've said this so many times, is energy, frequency, vibration, right? Secrets of the universe. I mean, it's not my quote, it's Tesla, right? But the point is that there's magic in that, right? So we just got to really pay attention to what that feels like, because these things help us evolve. And so if we choose to stay in that mindset of abundance, which is I know that you are operating from this place. I've heard it, I've seen it, I've recognized it, I understand it. So the distinction is build that momentum. And I think that this gives us a lot of to think about, or feel about even more so, because it then gives us all um, this playfulness, I guess, where we choose to say, hey, there's a lot more where we come from, and there's actually a lot more where we can give. And so this is something that we are able to activate in a more meaningful. It's like the delivery of our journeys so we, like he says, we can actually go from really the development of this stage of how we actually want to go from this 3D Newtonian perspective that's oftentimes in this victim bystander mind, to a really more quantum delivery, of 5D element of how are we choosing to really recognize how this whole conversation is really staying in that layer of abundance. And so as a result of staying in abundance, we stay in momentum. But really, this is the circle that I'm talking about, right?
Hmm.
So we're talking about flow, we're talking about higher order, we're talking about coherence, we're upgrading, right?
Hmm.
And this is where we're becoming really in our state of the universal, the coherence in our hearts. So that coherence allows us to really upgrade our observer mind, or observer collective consciousness, because then we're recognizing that the wisdom is coming through all of us, and it's choosing to show up with ease and grace, and the resonance is going to allow you, with your decision to operate from that place of heart, to amplify whatever Chris and his partner business wise are doing. So I think my perspective, Nick, is that you're observing a lot of these things, but where you add value mostly is when you're observing, listening, and when you say what you need to say at that moment in time. So you're actually holding the space of such deep certainty for what's going on. And so when you speak, people listen.
Thank you for that. That's something that I've been working on, not getting into my head and second guessing myself. There are many times throughout my life where I have something to say, and sometimes I don't say it. And through repetition, I've learned when to be able to pick up when the group will get there themselves. And sometimes this past year, I've only really noticed it this past year. It's happened much longer than that. I will be so in my head, I will choose, thinking from scarcity, I will choose to not expel the energy it would take to explain it and speak and let them and just observe and let them get there. And I'm very happy to say I've been, I haven't really been doing that the past couple months, which feels like a lot longer than a couple months, but so it's been much better. That's interesting that you say that. That is something that I really want to work on because it's intertwined with self-respect. And I think there's been a lot of, based on how I've been raised, this is a separate issue, but it's kind of attached. A lot of anxiety that people have comes from lack of trust in themselves. And that comes from, in some cases, like mine, parents being very protective and me learning to get external validation and not believe or trust in myself, uh,
Mhm.
which isn't the case anymore, thank goodness. But anyways, yeah, it's interesting how much of that is intertwined, and years of betraying myself in that way and not trusting myself, but needing other outside validation has led me to uh, realize like how good it feels to say stand up for myself isn't the right way of saying it, but it's speak my mind and share what I have to say. Um, very much like you described. So yeah, that's interesting.
Can I share with you one more thing
Please.
about like visually wise? Because what you're sharing, I can really resonate with. And this is what these are blocks that I've built in terms of building the sovereignty, the autonomous mind, the sovereign mind. Because we're all sovereign and we all have a direct path, right? So the thing is do we choose to tap into that and allow that sovereignty to come through? Because although we are eternally interconnected, we also have a direct path that allows us to own that presence of who we are in our sovereign abilities. So, we've been conditioned, most of us, all of us have heard of this, but most of us have been conditioned and still believe that, this is the hierarchy of needs, right? This guy was born in 1908, and but yet for some reason most people refer to this hierarchy of needs, which is fucking ludicrous. I mean, it was developed in 1900s. This is crazy to think that we actually need to go from this capacity to really develop ourselves into this capacity. The truth is, this is actually flipped on its head. The morality, spontaneity, creativity is what we already come here with. So
Yes.
it's like everybody is reaching to get to this level when this is actually what we come here as. And
It's
so I was
ironic.
like, this is fucking bullshit. And this is like not the way that our children should be encouraged, because if they're basically, they're saying, hey, you need to get food, sex, and breathing to really get to this place of morality? What if we choose to say, hey, we actually are creative and moral in our essence, and as a result of us paying attention to the breath, we can actually self-actualize and be more confident, develop our family, provide safety and security for on a global level, to build a lot more food, water, sleep, physiological needs for the people around us. And so people will start to then, as a result, really own their presence, their sovereignty. And this is what I call the sovereign mindset of manifestation. And so, you know, this is the journey that I always say is like, hey, as a sovereign, it doesn't mean that people are going to agree with us. It actually means that we're okay with them. We're okay with them disagreeing with us, but we have the power to stand in our strength, and we allow that mirror of criticism to come through, and we have compassion to whatever that needs to be, because we are willing to look at ourselves in the mirror, but be the clear mirror. So where are we assessing our identity at the fundamental level? And if we assess our identity, what true identity do we really want to step into? And if we recognize that we can actually build this self-esteem and cultivate it with each other by choosing to stand in our power, by choosing to be in our place of knowing, our place of congruency, we can then preserve and be responsible role models. And when I say responsibility, it's our ability to respond within ourselves, of choosing the path of self-love and realizing that we're love in action, so that we can give or forgive oneself for all the experiences that we've already gone through, or the people. And when I say all the experience that we have gone through, it's not just in this lifetime. It may be our ancestral experiences. It may be lifetimes ago. It might be something even deeper that our parents or our grandparents have gone through. So because that's a form of our sovereign ability to go that deep and that behind, to then fundamentally step into the actualization of the sovereignty that we are. And so this becomes a huge level of healing generational wounds, because we're going so much deeper back into the experiences of grandfather, our great grandfather, our ancestors, and then as a choice, deciding to really be the new ancestor and honoring that place of wisdom. And this is what ultimately changes the relationship with self, the relationship with others, and fundamentally, the relationship with our higher power. So this is something that gives us a new plane of potential and how we start to operate. But I definitely think that having that depth of knowing and choosing to know, and then choosing to step into, is what creates a lot more empowering experiences, or empowering stories, or empowering meanings to all of the lessons that come through us through life.
Beautiful. I loved that. That all resonated a whole lot. And what you said about the hierarchy of needs, it feels almost cruel how ironic it is. It we come into the world like this, and then society brings us here and then tries to build us back in a backwards way. So because it's in a backwards way, every method that we use to try to get to the next step in that pyramid is ironically making it more difficult, because it's not the path there. And it's also very validating to know that at the same time. Oh, that's cool. You got a lot of slides. Those took time, didn't they?
I mean, I've been studying and analyzing and doing a lot of mind cognitive awareness and putting patterns together uh, for years. I mean, when Sagitas and I had met 4 years ago, I was even then already putting patterns together, and so um, there's just so many things that I'm a student of this, right? I'm a student of human consciousness. I'm a student of ancient history. I'm a student of art history. I'm a student of different philosophers, prophets, teachings, religions. So I see things based off of symbols, and I see a lot of things that have been left behind for us to remember, which is what drove me around the world so many times. Yeah.
Very cool.
Because success leaves clues, and so our ancestors have left us clues on the planet, and if we choose to operate and recognize and pay attention to these clues, whether they're big rocks or symbols in or hieroglyphs, uh, if we don't pay attention and if we're not getting curious about why these things have been left behind, I think we're doing a huge disservice to ourselves, our essence, our future generations, because this is how we get to operate from a higher self. And
Mhm.
it's our decision, and it's in that moment of decision that our destiny becomes determined. And my decision has been to, travel the planet, learn about things, learn about people, so that we can take more of these responsibilities and choose to operate from this higher plane of awareness, because then we take that higher plane of awareness and we solidify it on the plane of potential, which is in the physical, in the 3D realm. Um, Even if we're in the 5D or the 8D or wherever else, but the fundamental thing is grounding it. It's not about just talking about it, and that's the thing that uh, I believe we have an opportunity in this lifetime to change or highlight, like the past ancient Egyptians, is we can actually choose to bring a lot of that awareness down to the physical space with all of the tech and all of the opportunities available to us. So this is something that it requires a lot of us, and it also requires a lot of uh, you know funding and support and development, and I know there's people out there that are doing a lot as well, and it's it's about coming together from my perspective. But, we're just doing the best that we can all. And there's tons of people out there that are way smarter in all of this than I am, so it's learning from them as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's the only way to do it, right? All come together and for this to work, it's the team has to act like what we're trying to create. So it can't be from a place of what do I get from it? What do I get out of this? Uh, Everyone has to be from very like a sincere place of what can I give and why and have their own why and their own reasons and just want to give and be part of it.
And it's also like allowing one to receive. I think the biggest thing that I'm discovering is that a, like givers need to be around other givers so that the exchange
Yeah.
is there, because if we're all giving, or sorry, if one person is giving and the other ones are only taking, then it becomes an off balance. And so I've learned that giving movement or giving experience actually creates a lot more abundance, because then everybody's giving and everyone's also receiving. So this
Mhm.
is something that that changes, I believe, the perspective, because yeah, I mean, I've had my experiences or my fair shares, and it's okay. Those made me stronger and made more resilient, because it comes through us anyways.
Mhm. Yeah, this is reminding me at UPW, one of, a lot of people go there to crew or to attend with intentions, and one of my intentions was to uh it wasn't the right question. I was trying to find out. Through my past several years, through repetition, I've developed a belief, um, that I've disagreed with it. I've been conscious of it, but it's been there still, until UPW, that said, that doing the things that I truly want to do in this life and feel like I was put here to do, that are aligned with my purpose, equals pain and suffering. And that's just because of lots of other experiences that I've had in the past. And I went into UPW wanting to figure out why. So, but with the outcome being that I could get rid of that belief and feel stop getting in my own way. And I forget what was actually going on. It was one of those moments where you try to recall it and you can't like really grasp it, because it was just a cool like internal moment, I guess. Um, where I looked around and I felt, it was in the stadium, and I felt super present, and I saw everything really clearly, just visually, and heard everything really clearly. And I felt really, really excited to give, and um, a really like pure knowing that I could give what so many people need. And from a place of contribution, as opposed to contribution with some significance, with some, whatever else. And it was just purely wanting to contribute. And there was no doubt in my mind if I was competent enough or able to or worthy to. It was just like it was equivalent to if someone was sitting next to me and they were thirsty and me trying to hand them a glass of water. It was like, here, of course, here you go. I'm doing what I can. Um, and that was uh that was an incredible feeling, because I felt so much joy with that, and the friction that I felt in the past from trying to do that, which was linked to other needs like significance, were completely absent. So it was just total ease. It was amazing. It felt incredible. And yeah, so I came out of UPW with like wanting to hone that state. And and since then I feel there's been moments where I truly I've noticed that I don't attribute that same amount of like pain or suffering or anything with what I'm working on. Um, it feels just like doing the dishes. Like it's nothing. It's not an issue at all,
Mhm.
which is really incredible to say. Yeah, so it was a cool moment.
I love it. It's who you are.
It is. Thank you.
It is. It is. So it is.
Yes.
Beautiful, bro. Thank you for reflecting this.
Of course. Thank you for listening.
So remember what I said about the wisdom of our infinite teacher coming through all of us? It's amazing to be truly present to what we are as a group right now, right? And so we're holding each other's wisdom to a higher standard and really paying attention to what's coming through. And so as a result, we're mirrors, healthy mirrors of what it means to really stand in our identity and our power and our grace. And this is what ease and grace does. It creates ease and grace so that we don't need to prove anything anymore or be anybody. We're just are. There's a knowing, there's a beingness of it.
Yeah. It's funny
And
every time.
it's liberating, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Every time I feel that I experience something like that and go from cognitively understanding to emotionally understanding it and knowing it, uh, every now and then I'll have another experience where it's like, oh, now I really get, it's like just a much deeper level of grasping
Yeah.
it. And it's funny how there's always just another it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Like Joe Dispenza is saying, there's always more. More of love, more of everything. It just goes.
I am
It's
so excited
infinite.
to go to one of his events. Still haven't been.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Just go to 7 day. No, not a shorter version.
The one in Cancun is amazing.
Ooh, I bet.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Let's do it.
Are you going to Day with Destiny?
Yes, I'm going to crew. What about you guys?
Ah, amazing. Amazing.
I have no plans. No plans.
So Ross and I were talking maybe creating an online thing here in Edmonton and seeing if a few people want to join. So I'm gonna meet Brenda today and see what she's planning. It would be nice to see if we can get some family here. It'd be nice, Sagitas, if you can come.
To Edmonton.
But yeah.
So you want to do like the online in group?
Yeah, in a group online.
Yeah, why not?
Sounds awesome. Y'all should definitely do that. I'd fly there if I wasn't already crewing.
Yeah. So this is something that I'm well, Ross brought it up. He's like, hey, should we do it? So it was like really Ross's thought process, but I thought it was a great idea. And he said he would maybe fly out here and maybe we can get Ronald to come. Sagitas. We all do it together online. It would be so fun.
When is it happening?
December 5th.
December 5th, so it's pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be able to make it, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
but it's cool.
Never say never. There's magic in the universe. Never say never.
That's what I go for.
Mm-hmm.
Magic is my go-to. Yeah, it's
So
gonna need to happen. It's gonna happen.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do something similar here for Business Mastery in January. I'm pretty sure, and have a few
Nice.
friends over.
Business
Forward to that.
masteries.
Yeah. You guys have any plans for these holidays? Thanksgiving, Christmas, anything else?
On December 7th, I have a Christmas with the Burners community here in Lithuania. So we're gonna
Nice.
start early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
And
too
then I
early.
have another invitation also for after Christmas, 24th, to meet with the friends, and nothing for New Year's yet. That yeah.
Cool. Yeah, same. Nothing for New Year's Eve yet.
I'm talking to a friend who may or may not come to Edmonton to visit for Christmas. We'll see. And I want to go like my parents have booked a place to go snowboarding in January because they love being in the mountains and I love being on the mountain.
Yeah.
So they don't go snowboarding or skiing, but they love being in the mountains, you know, enjoying the peace and the nature and things like this. And then I just go and spend like all day, every day up on the mountain. So
Yeah.
this is something that, you know, they really love doing, and they invited me and I said, yeah, I'd love to. Oh,
That's cool,
so
man.
Yeah.
Snowboarding. Yeah.
If you guys ever want to
In Canada, that's a dream spot.
yeah.
One of the dream spots. Japan is good, and Canada definitely. It's
If you guys ever want to come ski or snowboard or check out the mountains over here, you got a place to stay, just let me know.
amazing.
bro,
Yeah.
as soon as I get my US travel, I'm gonna come spend more time there in the US. So
Awesome.
I'm working on it, and yeah, I definitely would love to make things happen. So
So
yeah. And then go to a lot more physical events in Palm Beach.
Eric, what is the status of the process? Do you like?
I actually just sent out I just reached out to Michelle to see what's going on, because they asked me to send some stuff over, so I'm just waiting to hear back. So but yeah,
So
it's
it's
gonna
going
take,
in progress.
yeah, it's in progress.
Mhm.
So it will happen. Just don't know, 3 months or 4 months or something like this, but I'm confident it will happen sooner rather than later.
Mm.
It's nice to have people that you trust helping you do it, right? So that's the thing, is like I wouldn't know. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of process and development, but the thing is when somebody has done this thousands of times and has, you know, really helped people immigrate and create and move over to the United States, and her and her husband, you know, have done this lots. So I really just trust that you know, the best place to do it is with somebody, and you know, Michelle's a lion, so really focused on helping me get there so that I can go and spend time with her at Tony's house.
It's
Solve the
pulling you.
biggest problems together.
Tony's house is pulling you, attracting,
Yeah, well,
making it.
it's not even, it's spending more time focusing on world's problems and solving them.
Mm.
That's what I really want to do, and I know that doing it next to Tony will make it faster.
yeah.
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 And of course, because he's watched my commitment and devotion to this for the last years, he sees me, consistently showing up. So it creates a level of bond that we've had and we get to build on, and then we get to continue to navigate with that place of presence and purpose and devotion. And so, I stand on his shoulders, definitely.
Better sooner than later.
Yeah. That's what I hope my community will get to is because it's all for world problems, right? So working with people, Tony and people like Tony and you guys to make the world a better place.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Is there anything that we can do to support you, Nicholas?
These calls are amazing and super supportive every time. I love it. When I get my head more into what happens next, which will happen in the next few days, I will definitely let you guys know. The only thing that comes to mind now is just these conversations being so amazing and being grateful for when Moni and Rehan were here and us kind of sharing the vision, and you mentioning you have a couple of people we should reach out to and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all that's coming to mind now.
Yeah, I connected Moni with Michelle and Kevin when you guys were at
Awesome.
UPW. So apparently she had met with them. So
Awesome. Okay.
And with regards to, I would challenge the fact of, instead of getting your mind around it, focus on what feels right. And whatever you guys are needing to have clarity on, my perspective is just to allow that with a clear understanding of knowing what your why is. And it sounds like I know what your why is, but not but and the action steps are about creating the story around what that is entailing. Because if they're solving problems, and if your community wants to solve problems, and you want to devote your energy into making sure that this is a place for leaders to come and join you, then I guess my perspective is sharing why you, Moni, and Rehan, it's so meaningful to you, and what in your experience of life has made you want to identify with enhancing the world, or making it a better place, from your own experience, driving from your own experiences, because people are not going to care that, at least my perspective, this is my perspective, they're not going to care that you are wanting to change the world, because 90% of people that are in the space of impact want to change the world. And when they're just talking about wanting to change the world, it doesn't create impact. It's what they're doing to really enhance their way of living through their own experience, through their own story, through why it's meaningful to them, and what it was with their authentic outlook of what really was the transition in what I shared you earlier, their hero's journey with the spiral. And then from that meaning of driving from scarcity to abundance, we no longer focus on the uncertainty or even feeling like an imposter that we can't go out there and share our space, but we break through into the momentum. So, and we cultivate abundance. So that means that you have to own the sovereign mindset. You have to own the sovereignty of your identity, of who you are as an individual, to then say, I own this. This is me. I'm here to serve you. And then from that place, you know, I devote my energy. This is how I devote my energy, from that place. And so that's kind of the fundamentals that I go through, with anybody that I spend time with supporting. And my suggestion is really stepping through those paradigms.
Awesome. Thank you. I needed to hear that.
Because if we're constantly passing on or passing the buck to somebody else, then we give away our power.
Right.
Ross, what do you do in a snowy day?
Yeah,
The
well,
winter
actually,
came.
I wanted to apologize, guys, because I've been in and out like a yo-yo. Actually, I'm kind of reminding myself of like what life was when I was 16, because living with my father at the moment, it's like, oh, can you go and do this for me? Can you go and do that? So he forced me to go to the post office quickly, and he said it's going to be a quick job, and then I
Forced?
have to wait for
He
20
forced you?
people. Well, not forced me, but asked me politely, which I couldn't refuse, right? Obviously. So I'm kind of getting a glimpse of what it's like. The other day I went out and I came back quite late because I went to meet a girl, and it was like literally being like 16, where have you been? What have you
Yeah.
done? What time did you get back? I'm feeling quite youthful today.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's nice to have you here, brother.
Thank you.
But you, Ross, you said you were 21 or 22?
Oh yeah, 21.
So how long you been not living with the parents?
I'm actually 41.
41.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Did you really
It
think I
makes
was
a bit.
21? Oh,
Man,
you are now my
man.
best friend ever.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, no, I'm 41. I actually left home when I was 16. Yeah. Went to boarding school and then to university and never came back. So there you go.
This
Well, I
this
did come back for like a couple of weeks and stuff, but that was it.
Yeah.
this man Ross is a brilliant man as well, Nick. I don't know if you guys have connected yet.
We're all brilliant.
No, not yet.
Yeah. I think we might have seen each other on a call a couple of weeks ago, briefly.
Right. Yeah. No, haven't had extensive conversations, but yeah, once or twice.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
So also very meaningful impact man that continues, not even wants, he just does it. And he's been doing it, focusing on his internal journey. Anyway, Ross, you want to share a little bit about yourself, bro? Just your magic?
Oh gosh.
Whatever you feel like sharing, man.
Yeah, I think I'm really committed right now to kind of making a big impact and a change. I think there's a world out there where we can all make money and still make the world a better place and the planet a better place from both environment and society. And I think everyone really needs to just step up a gear and make that 1% impact. And if we all start to make that 1% impact, we can turn this around. We don't need any COP 28s or anything like that. To be honest, I find those things such a waste of money and just ridiculous. Like the UK government sent 500 delegates to COP28. God knows how much it costs. They wanted 3 trillion and they walk away with 250 billion, but they're talking about problems that we know in our environment were 5 years ago, right? Or 10 years ago, and they're kind of just rolling it forwards and not adding on to it to bring it up to scratch. So, I think there's a big thing out there that we just really need to all start to make some, as Tony would say, we just need to start making some moves, and I feel very, very empowered to do so. I feel it in my soul. And, I just want to start making moves. I just want to start making things moving forwards, and whatever I can do to make the place a better place for my kids, my grandchildren, my friends' kids, my friends' grandchildren. I think it's part of my mission and my duty, and I'm really trying to get everything organized to get on with that.
I hear you, man. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Feel the same way.
Yeah. And we doubt
Ross,
each other, doubt ourselves all the time, and people doubt us, but I think it's time to just, forget the doubters, align ourselves with the people who align with us and get moving.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally
I'm,
agree.
I'm, I'm curious, what is your pain point that you see you can make a move, Ross? That would count as a move.
The pain point I'm struggling with at the moment, personally,
No,
or
no, no. In the world that like I assume somehow that you feel pain when you see whatever is going on, and there is more painful areas and less painful, and which one is your
I
pain?
mean, I came across a little snippet of someone interviewing Richard Branson the other day, right? And Richard Branson said, if you can find us, if you know a solution to a problem for people, you have a business. And right now, I can see 10, 20 problems that people have that I struggle with, that you guys probably struggle with as well in some form. And I can see the solution for it. And I kind of just need to get moving with it. But for me, uh the 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 two main issues I find right now that I think are massive pain points is one is our food, and how our food is created and the amount of carbon that it creates and destroys the world. I also came across some really, well, sorry, I'm digressing now. But yeah, I think the food that we consume and how we consume food, I think it's ridiculous that we travel the world and we expect to have blueberries on our plate every moment of the year with our pancakes at every breakfast, wherever I go in the world. It's just not natural. It's just not sustainable for our planet. You know, we were meant to have blueberries, for example, 3 months of the year. So I think we need to have a drastic change in consciousness in terms of how we eat and how we create that food sources, you know. For example, like I'm really into this subject, but if you look at the number of cattle in on the planet has more than like I can't remember the exact, but it's like more than 400x in like 20 years. It's just ridiculous because we all now expect to have chicken in a wrap for breakfast at lunchtime. You know, when we were lucky to have chicken, I remember having chicken once a week, or having like if I had a roast chicken, it was like, oh, this is amazing. Not that I expect to go and have a chicken Caesar wrap and I'm just in a rush and I'm going to grab a snack, so I'm going to grab a chicken wrap. It's just not normal, it's not sustainable, it's not good for us as individuals, and it's not good for our planet. So I think, it's definitely one for me, definitely is a big pain point is the agriculture of the world and how we produce food. The second one for me that's a real big point is people's well-being. We're more affluent, we have more abundance available to us, but yet generally we're less happier. We have more mental issues. We struggle with day-to-day life. We struggle with being able to focus, with being able to make things happen. We all feel much more inadequate than, people used to do back in the day with less. And it's because one of the big things is obviously social media, but it's also, how we kind of get programmed essentially in the world. I think that's a big issue. And I think one of the big things is be giving people the tools, the techniques, and the ability to overcome those. Yeah. Those are my two big pain points. And I think, you know, people talk about like carbon emissions from flying around the world or from factories. Yes, factories are still an issue. Like I saw somewhere that Russia or something produces the same amount of carbon as all the European countries put together or something. It's just ridiculous. And the problem is the rest of the world is cutting down on carbon emissions, trying to be more efficient. But the two big contributions to pollution out there are China and Russia, and they just keep on blowing smoke up there, and the rest of the world is trying to fix it. And it's like, it's trying to it's like trying to fix your plumbing whilst you still have the water running through it. It's just illogical. And then we then set up things like COP28 and spend billions by flying people around the world to go and sit in a room and try and debate how they can clean it up. And they just talk. There's no action. There's no massive action.
Yeah.
And I think those are the three things that are those are my two things, and the third thing is definitely about the way we, I suppose, waste energy, right? Which I know is something that you Eric and Jesus are super passionate about. Is the wastage of energy that we have on the planet, and how can we improve that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was my deep philosophical moment for the day.
Wisdom, brother. Wisdom.
Yay!
And these are the three. I think that these three things are fundamentally, what it's interesting because Ross, like, even the thought process of you maybe coming here for Day with Destiny and us doing it with like a group, and then figuring out a bunch of bigger solutions, and then really integrating the course that we want to create, in terms of really redefining the way that we can integrate in terms of bringing different funds and fund managers together to really deploy capital for these types of projects is, I think, an important step that we can take so that we can showcase that, hey, these impact funds are really to solve the biggest world's problems, and that we need to highlight these types of emphasis. And then, I know that you have tons of experience in this too, so let's figure out a way to maybe make this happen. I'm gonna have a conversation today and see if Brenda's interested in doing Day with Destiny altogether. And I think there could be a lot of action steps as a result of all doing Date with Destiny as a team. As a result of taking a massive action plan and really emphasizing the importance of Date with Destiny as a leading catalyst for raising our group as a team, so that we can have those meaningful steps and that fulfillment in terms of what I put into the group.
I mean, it was Date with Destiny last year that I decided I worked out that was my purpose. But then 2024, I had to learn a bunch of lessons in life to be able to make sure that I was focused and that I was centered enough to be able to go ahead and really push that forward. So yeah, Day with Destiny for me is a big one to kind of remind myself what my purpose and my mission is, so that then I can hit 2025 at full strength.
Love that. I feel that same way too.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I went to school for what I did, product design and stuff like that, is for some of those reasons to know how to create the solutions that can come up there. So I would always love to support in anything you guys need.
What kind of product design do you do? Like food or physical products?
Yeah, it's amazing how much overlap there is, because it's all the same process that you go through, but it was mostly product design. A little bit of it was digital, a little bit was service design, but mostly products, like physical.
Amazing. Well, about 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago now, I kind of fell in love with, well, 4 years ago, I fell in love with hemp. And so I went on a massive journey with my sister's fiance, who's actually an ex-chef. And we actually created, I think now we've got 13 SKUs that we've actually finalized. For those of you who don't understand what SKUs is, product in hemp. So I have a hemp milk, I have a hemp chocolate milk, a hemp vanilla milk. They all froth like a barista version. There's no barista version needed. Then we have 4 hemp food bars. We have 4 flavors of hemp protein truffles, because and also a hemp oil and a hemp protein powder at 65%. And then on there, I was already starting to do R&D into protein shakes, because especially based on hemp milk. And I love hemp because of the nutritional values, but also because of the environmental. For every ton of hemp that we can grow, we clean 1.6 tons of CO2 emissions, right? So I can imagine like a world where like the Amazon is getting destroyed and we just build a new Amazon that also then cultivates our food sources, right? And that's like kind of my, kind of like a June 2000 video game kind of perspective on it. And then uh, and hemp is just so amazing, for everything. You can use it for textiles, right? We have now 50% of our clothes have microplastics in it, right? And actually, I know a guy at the Polish Hemp Institute, which is like one of the first institutes in the world to ever work in hemp. And I get on really well with him. But you can even make hemp concrete, hemp cement from it, which is really natural insulation, right? And weatherproof, which is amazing. So like for me, I think like I'd really like to go really big into hemp, but uh, I'm also saying that because also there's a nano silver product that I came across as well for cleaning. And so there's I've got about 30 or 40 products in my mind, some of which are developed and some of which probably need some tweaks and improvements. So at some point, yeah, we should talk about those products because you might find some enjoyment there.
Definitely, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
There's
that's cool. That's cool.
tons of products I have floating around in my head too. Yeah, let's talk.
Hey, let's
I
do the product day. I'm curious. Like one call, let's go
Yeah,
for products. Like
let's do it.
Yeah.
presentations of the ideas. That would be fun.
Why
And
don't we do it
Ross, I
tomorrow?
have sure if the gentleman
If
can
you guys
prepare
can.
or like oh tomorrow I can't. Tomorrow is my
Okay.
brother's birthday, so I'm gonna be off somehow. I feel.
Tomorrow I am moving. Um, let's see.
Ross, my one of my cousin is she used to be the director of art school in Lithuania here, and suddenly they were working quite a lot of years on hemp, I think linen, and some other material, and now she quit all that job and she followed her passion and she is developing products with hemp and So yeah, I can ask her where she is and what she does now, and maybe connect you guys.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, there's a huge hemp growing and production in Lithuania, and a lot of there's a company that does some really cool hemp burgers up there as well.
Really, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. As like a plant-based burger. Because
Okay.
hemp is so rich in protein and fiber, and so you
Mm,
can make it into really nice food.
That's awesome.
cool.
Guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but I do have to run to another call. This was great. I love you all.
Yeah.
And I'll see
Much
you all
love.
next time.
Nicholas, I
Nick.
just got an email for Joe Dispenza's advanced week-long retreat. It just came right now in my thing. So if you want to look on drjoedispenza.com, they just announced it right now. So as we're
Awesome.
talking, so just letting you know.
Look at that. Thank you. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Hey,
Looking forward
fellas.
Ciao,
to
Nicholas.
Ciao.
Good. Bye, guys.
So I'm gonna crush the day. We're gonna
Do
crush the
that.
day.
Right.
And Ross, let's I'm gonna talk to Brenda today about Date with Destiny.
Okay.
And you know, who knows, maybe more people will join if the three of us start the thing. Maybe Sagitas will come. Who knows? Never know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Yeah. You fancy a trip to Canada?
Fuck yeah, I'm curious to travel.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. It's been a
Good.
minute. The last time I flew, it was with Eric, I think.
Yeah, we went
We
to
were flying.
Portugal,
We went to Madeira.
Madeira, which is
We went to
where Ross is right now.
Yeah. You guys went to Madeira?
Yeah, in April or somewhere there.
Oh, amazing. Did you enjoy it?
Loved it.
We just
Yeah.
sure.
Wish we would
We
have
have
stayed
not
longer.
we have not explored Madeira as island. So yeah, it's something I'm looking forward for sure.
Oh, sure. Just let me know. I was born here, so
That's cool.
Bro, we gotta come there and go like into the waterfalls and on some hikes and stuff like this.
Yeah,
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
place.
Sounds good. Yeah, I can organize that. No problems. Just let me know when.
Deal. Maybe we'll do a
Deal.
retreat. I love it. I love you guys.
Yep.
Thank you so much for this beautiful day, and I look forward to chatting more.
Yeah, brilliant, guys. Love you too. Bye.